Dark, 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 dark. Oh no, bright, bright. Well, it looks like um Trump decided to be the racist person that he is. Messing with my like and insulted, and I think he did it on purpose, the Navajo Indians, and at the same time Elizabeth Warren, who I really like. Her looks fine waking up to it. Look better in the mirror in the bathroom. But anyway, um, you, and like living like in Memphis, I have to deal with a lot of racism, believe it or not. And the hardest thing to realize is how it affects the children, how it affects the adults. You know, um, how a lot of times we're in denial that we have, some really sick Caucasian people. I mean, that um, will will shoot up in Vegas, a country musical uh, concert. Um, Never been to Vegas, and it's been a couple of decades since I've been to a concert, so maybe this year I'll go to Mayfest at the River Festival. Um, but it's really has damaged, and racism has really damaged our society in such a way that it hurts us economically. You know, um, where you know uh, white supremacists could justify and out of one side of their face, the reason why they should support corporations as being people and should get all these tax breaks. And then the other side of their face, they're talking about how the jobs that went overseas. And racism is just a way so you're not to have a solution. Wouldn't it be just as simple to fix our job problem by fixing our schools, making sure that we have money that filters into our schools and not filter out, that we should take care of the least, you know what I'm saying? When you're in an airplane, they and you're a mother with a baby and there's or a father with a child, they say give the child the oxygen before you put it on yourself. So anyway, these are and for Trump to like just so bluntly and think they're saying it's a joke. Well, it's if nobody's laughing, then maybe you need to check your joke. Or if the only people, because like I used to know like these bully people, like their buddies around him like would laugh at everything that came out of his face, even though what was coming out of his face was a lot of, narcissistic ass, hateful, derogatory bullshit. And I remember like one time there was like a whole bunch of them, we were just standing there, we were looking at them and they were laughing. And then like I remember like we looked at each other and this one guy goes, "Man, we passed math class." So and there was like only three of the bullies. We looked around, there was like six of us. Um so and I think he said something else a little derogatory until like the shortest one of us, the short guy. And I mean he was little but he had been eating good, a lot of walking in New York, and basically all muscle, Um, and he just turned around and punched the guy, and like the chin or the throat, or right around there somewhere. But the way he hit him, it made the guy fall. He knocked the guy down, knocked the guy out, which was like that was it. Everybody was like, but that doesn't happen all the time because usually what they like to do is like cut into the herd and just isolate that one person. But we all had experience with racism, so with Trump and his coonies talking about, this isn't racism. Elizabeth Warren is a person of a certain age, and if her grandfather said there was some Indian in him, uh, you know, who's to say, you know, uh, uh, um, because it's not like uh, uh, men will like, oh well, I'm white, I'm not gonna have sex with this person, you know. I mean, I don't know. It's irrelevant, and I don't know if it's really proven that it wasn't. I don't know if anybody did any DNA testing, and like I said, it's pretty much irrelevant, you know. But Trump is racist. He's nasty and he's disgusting, and part of his craziness is his racism. The same thing if you look at that guy Moore guy. He's a racist ass fascist. Well, he's a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of women that think that this is like men like him. They got to stand behind because it's a man's world and it's the way it's always been and nothing's gonna change. You know that's the same bitch who leave a diaper on a child all day long. And nothing ain't gonna change. It's gonna shit again. Why should I take his diaper? And then when the child is screaming and hollering because he's got a bunch of chap ass and problems. So they end up making the problem worse, basically is what I'm trying to say. And Trump is disgusting. He's a con artist. He's trying to play. That's the con artist game, is to try to make you feel shame and humiliated of who you are. And that's why I say there's some of the problems with the black people and the women here. I know there's some women, they're ashamed to be a woman. Because, men do grope on them. Men will take advantage of them. They'll kill their daughter. If they have a choice between having a son or a man, they'll have a son because they don't want their daughter to have to live through the hell they had to live through by racist people that will discriminate you, like also by just perverted people, rapists, pedophiles, playboys, or whatever they think they are, players, and when you look at what I'm saying, like I'm a woman of a certain age, right? When I look at some of these men, because I'm not involved with them, I'm not having a sexual relationship, which mainly because the men in the South are sort of, they got this Jim Crow type of mentality. The propaganda really worked, and then they have this way of thinking that women are meant to do certain stuff, have things a certain way, like um like it's okay for men to barbecue as long as the women, they just expect women to really to be their mother, continue to take care of them, cook, clean, house, and all this shit for them. Not gonna happen with me. I'm looking for an adult, so they can wipe their own ass. But, and you know what I'm saying, and like I do cook. I cook every day, but I've been single for a long, long time, and I don't cook like wasteful. You know what I'm saying? Um, I might just go ahead and just cook me one chicken breast, but have all the fixings that I like around it. Geared to my taste, and I'd probably only make enough for 1 or 2 meals, or like in the case that I just made some the white northern beans and ham from Thanksgiving, just diced up a little bit, put it in there with some tomatoes, onions, and garlic, and a little jalapeno there, which I de-seeded, and then I made sure I didn't get to eat that because like I sliced it big, so even though it does break down nice, that I don't accidentally just bite into it. Just gave a nice. It's one of those sneaky heats. But so like I don't really cook like for you know like I'm not cooking for more than one person. You know, um, and like I've had it where they would just go ahead and eat up all your food like ha ha ha, and then they will never get no more food from you. They'll just keep waiting. They'll smell food. You know, they'll think I'm pretty disgusting. Um, but I'm not gonna. That'd be it. There's not gonna be no leftovers. Because I know it's like and then but what I'm saying, because they're geared to eating like a certain amount at one time, where I eat a little bit like a few times during the day, maybe 3 or 4 times during the day. I don't just really have gorge myself at one time. Actually, I don't really like to feel full. I like to, but anyway. But people will discriminate against you for that. And like I don't have a trash can in my house at all. I take my trash out, but I have like like the bag I get from the store. I'll hook it on the handle of something and put my little trash in there, and then that little bag don't have to get full. It just depends on what's in it. If it's something like I don't know, like I um had chicken or was cleaning chicken or something, put some fat in there. I'll take it out immediately. I'll take it. And I've had people like this one guy. He threw his trash right on my floor. And the next day he came by, and I was like, wait right here. I'm like outside, wait right here, because like he's not house broke. Don't come in the house. And he goes, and the next thing I heard, he goes, you cleaned up. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you picked that up. I'm like, yeah. Don't be throwing your fucking trash on my fucking floor. Oh, well, you don't have a trash can. I'm like, you walk right past the trash can in the driveway. Giant ass city gate trash can or whatever, you know. But like that's their mentality, like, oh well, you're dirty because you don't have a trash can. But I don't have a trash can because like the mice, they'll go to the same place by the stove looking for where everybody has their trash can at. And plus I don't need a trash can. I'm one person, you know, and I really don't buy the food that I will have like a lot of leftover fat or bones. I usually I'd rather get center cut pork, without the bone. Um, you know, um, so I really don't have a lot of waste. Um, and the worst thing about racist type of white men, they do think, like Trump, they do think they have the right, because they're a white male, because they think they're ruling the world. And then they got money and a little bit, like, they got a little, you got money, you got a little fame, right? And then he was on a TV show, so he's he's a celebrity now too, right? So yeah, they do think that it's okay for them to just basically do whatever they want with a woman when they want with a woman, that she's just she's some eye candy, like, oh look everybody, I'm a good looking man because I got Miss Universe. I can wear my hair like a clown and it don't really matter because I got a good looking woman, so that makes me good looking. You know what I'm saying? Look what I'm able to buy. So they do see women as property. They do think that anytime their dick gets hard, they need to get it wet. Be a woman, be a male. I don't think they really care. Um, I really don't. And then on purpose, they like to part of their narcissistic that turns them on is to try to take the most obvious thing and try to make you feel bad about yourself. Like um like if you had sex with them, like, oh, then you're a whore, or you're, something they could giggle and make fun of. Very immature, you know what I'm saying? Uh, um, um, but very nasty and very disrespectful. Um, with no class. They're classless, because of their If you look at some of the neo-Nazis and the KKK, their their ignorance, because they obviously are not educated. I'm sure some of them like Yale or Harvard, but they're not educated in being a human. They're not educated in empathy, because like you could be a genius in math, right? Uh, but you're just not a journalist. You're still a good speller, but you're just not a journalist. You know, um, you could be um, a great doctor and take care of people really well, but you just can't cook. You know what I'm saying. We all can be these days that racist people like, oh, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. That's what they'll zero in on. Like over here, the guy next door, even though he's black, he's a policeman, he works for the city, he's been fucking with me all this time. And I got property on the back of Gillis. A couple of years back, I told him, hey, don't dump your shit, over there. Because, I have been cleaning up, but anyway, so he called the city on me, let me know that's part of an alley, and I don't own this, and this, that, and the other. So anyway, so he dumped a whole bunch of his tree limbs. The city comes and picks it up free, put it on, because like he's part of the trash that they pick up. All you gotta do is leave it like where you leave your trash cans, or pile it up as long as it's not too close to like a telephone post or whatever. So like they could, pick it up with their like the machines. Well, he dumps it on the alley, which that is littering, right? So all the neighbors on Gillis, I don't live on that street. Anyway, they all called. I have just 3 lots there, but the people that was living there, they called. I just called like yesterday. The lady's like, it's already been reported because they got a really nasty attitude. The black people here, everybody's out to try to hurt them because they've been so damaged from a very young age. The propaganda was with some of the Jim Crow things is you have to cause pain. That's racism. You gotta cause pain. If you're a woman, you gotta be. They're gonna teach you from having sex with somebody. How you gonna shame the family by getting pregnant. All things. How you gonna shame the family by getting pregnant and then having an abortion? You better. How you gonna if what I'm saying, there's a lot of stigma that comes to a woman, and they like to use that to the benefits. It's a way to harass, it's a way to blackmail, it's a way to embezzle, using what I'm saying, like, and when I say blackmail, embezzle, okay, like with Trump, Putin has pictures of him with 5 prostitutes doing some really, I guess, weird stuff, you know. Now, if you're a powerful person and all that, and you're all about sex, you shouldn't have to buy no 5 women. You know what I'm saying? If you're a nice person, you've been in this world a while. You know what I'm saying? You should have met people, in your job every day. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? They in their own jobs, they're groping and grabbing and forcing women to do stuff like that makes the women uncomfortable and then shames them over it. And that's a lot how racist people work, because like Trump knows that he could never get a gorgeous, intelligent woman like Elizabeth Warren. I mean, look at her. She's a woman of a certain age like me, and she looks good. Her hair is thick, nice. I go by texture. Anyway, that is one of the things that we really have to combat is the racism. And I think that is exactly how Russia and our enemies use white supremacists to put a wedge in their community, to able to have like policies like like Kansas, the state of Kansas did, where they decide to let corporations have the big tax, just like the budget they want to do for all of America. uh, Kansas went from a very vibrant, well managed, you know, state to a very it just declined with the races rather it's like they got a bunch of people there with like the white power and all this stuff. Anyway, their all their ideas has caused the state pretty much really destroy their schools because you know um because a lot of these companies when they get these big tax breaks, that's from the taxes that help with the schools. You know, if you want to finance, I mean, like it's another racist thing. You got to have cops in the school. You got to have metal detectives. You know what I'm saying? These, you got to act like these kids is not a product of their parents and society. You got to act like that we have some little aliens all at once. That the only way we can control is to monitor them. But we're finding that, but I'm saying that China and Russia is loving Trump in office. Not only is he causing chaos, right? Not only does he have a lot of racial hate undertones, but he's going to fulfill their policies. You know what I'm saying? He's doing what a lot of the corporations want him to do. These big corporations that want these big tax breaks don't have the best interests in the United States. They have their interest is in their pocketbook, and then you do have some people. It's funny to them that that maybe that oil pipe, Keystone oil pipe that's trying to bring oil down from Canada. To them, that's probably hilarious. How we taught you a lesson. You said all we do is have a leak and we're gonna poison the water downstream. You know what I'm saying? Like now they're like, like with Trump with the fake news and his people. They're saying there's fake news, so they're going out and hiring people to be fake news for them. They're gonna make fake news. You can look at Fox. They should be. Now, I don't know what the FCC is doing, but you're not doing a good enough job. Anyway, racism has a great way to undermine the security and the safety and the sanity of the American people. It's a great way to destroy the American people. It's a good reason to put the majority of the American people in prison. It's a good reason not to fund programs. There's a lot of hate with that, and our enemies could use that really to control these white races. Anyway, Trump's a racist. You know, uh, and and a lot of white con artists use that racist shit to will into other people. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, well, and another thing is Trump thinks he's real fucking smart. Him and his goddamn con artists. Well, you're getting ready to butt heads with people that didn't have to lie, cheat, or copy, or hire other people to get ahead. All they had to do was read, practice, study, and apply what they learned. And that's what some of these people in Washington has been doing. That's what a lot of Democrats have been doing. And if you think that they're not human while they're doing it and they hadn't done something in their life, but that doesn't mean that they are doing it like a lot of white supremacists going out of your way intentionally causing harm and damage to American people. When you cause harm and damage to the American people, when you call Elizabeth Warren a Pocahontas in front of some American vets that sacrificed a lot for this country, that we can see that he does not have the understanding that uh, that a person that could fix find solutions to make this a better, safer place. He does not have it. He only has solutions and ideas to make things worse. So he could go ha ha na na na. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is you think that Don't say it all. Well, those who last, like I'll have the last laugh. It ain't even gonna be about finding it funny when we have to well, hopefully we'll put the racketeer thing. But anyway, when we impeach you, when you already exposed yourself because we're all stupid, so you keep on tweeting because we want to know exactly what's in your freaking mind. So when they take this to the courts, that they don't have to have nobody else information, and you can point to Elizabeth Warren, Barry Sanders, Obama, the Queen of London. You can point to whoever you want to, but it's going to be your words, your actions. It's going to be how you were spending the money. That's going to be what hang you. And while you pointing at everybody else, that's fine and dandy. We can look at everybody else. We have more than one channel. But don't forget, while we looking at everybody else, we're going to be studying the fuck out of you. And we want to save America. And then it's time for us to get these hateful races trifling. And look at the Republicans. Look what they're doing to our country. Look how they're destroying it with their stupid policies that they did not even take a few minutes with to educate themselves on. And that's why they're ignorant. And that's why these policies is fucked up. It worked great for China and Russia, but that budget is not going to work for the American people. It's going to cause more harm. And we just can't have white supremacists, racist, hateful people. They can't run anything. They can't even run their own ass.